Form 1. Shii-Cho. Let's start with the basics. Form 1, or Shii-Cho, is literally the first thing every Jedi learns. Think of it as lightsaber kindergarten. Every youngling in the temple starts here, and for good reason. Shii-Cho is all about those big, sweeping strikes you see in the movies. Wide arcs, broad movements, designed to take on multiple enemies at once. Remember when a lightsaber cuts through anything with zero resistance? That makes these wild swings actually practical. You can mow down entire groups of battle droids with one swing. The philosophy here is simple: disarm, don't kill. Shii-Cho masters like Kit Fisto turned this basic form into an art. Fisto could use Form 1 underwater, spinning and slashing through waves of enemies. Even Luke started with Shii-Cho when Obi-Wan first trained him with that remote on the Millennium Falcon. Here's the thing though, against a skilled single opponent, Shii-Cho looks pretty crude. Try those wide sweeps against Count Dooku, and you'll get stabbed before you finish the first swing. That's exactly why the other forms were invented. Form 2. Makashi. Enter Form 2. Makashi. The Gentleman's Duel. This is pure fencing, designed specifically for lightsaber-on-lightsaber combat. When the Jedi realized they'd be fighting Sith with lightsabers, not just deflecting blaster bolts, they needed something more refined than Shii-Cho's wild swings. Makashi is all about precision and control. One-handed grip, linear thrusts, elegant footwork. It's like watching a deadly ballet. The goal isn't overpowering your opponent, it's outsmarting them. Find their weakness, exploit it with surgical precision. Count Dooku is the poster boy for Form 2. That curved hilt lightsaber, perfect for Makashi's one-handed style. Watch his duels in Attack of the Clones. Every movement is calculated, efficient, graceful. He's not wasting energy on flashy moves. He's picking apart his opponents like a master chess player. But Makashi has a fatal flaw. It's designed for honorable single combat. Throw in multiple attackers or a barrage of blaster fire, and suddenly all that elegance becomes a liability. Dooku learned this the hard way when facing both Anakin and Obi-Wan at once. By the way, if you're enjoying these breakdowns of Star Wars combat forms, hitting subscribe really helps us dive deeper into the galaxy's secrets. Trust me, we've got more mind-blowing content coming. Form 3. Soresu. Form 3. Soresu is the reason Obi-Wan Kenobi survived everything the galaxy threw at him. This isn't just defense. This is becoming absolutely untouchable. Soresu practitioners turn themselves into an impenetrable wall of lightsaber movements. The philosophy is brilliant in its simplicity. If your enemy can't hit you, they can't beat you. Tight, controlled movements, minimal energy expenditure, maximum defensive coverage. A Soresu master can stand in the middle of a firefight, casually deflecting blaster bolts from all directions like they're swatting flies. Obi-Wan perfected this form to an insane degree. On Mustafar, Anakin threw everything at him: raw power, anger, acrobatics, and couldn't land a single meaningful hit. That's Soresu mastery. You outlast your opponent. Let them tire themselves out, then strike when they overextend. The downside? Soresu can drag fights on forever. You're so focused on not getting hit that actually winning becomes secondary. Some critics called it too passive for true Jedi warriors. Form 4. Ataru. Form 4 is where things get absolutely wild. Ataru is pure aggression, powered by Force-enhanced acrobatics. We're talking about Jedi who turn into spinning tornadoes of death, flipping off walls, attacking from impossible angles. This form asks one simple question: why fight on the ground when the Force lets you fight in 3 dimensions? Ataru masters use superhuman leaps, wall runs, and aerial spins to overwhelm opponents with speed and unpredictability. It's like watching gravity-defying martial arts. Yoda is the ultimate example. That little green master in Attack of the Clones? Pure Form 4. Despite being 900 years old, he moves like a bouncing ball of fury, overwhelming Count Dooku with sheer speed and acrobatics that defy physics. But Ataru has serious weaknesses. It burns energy like crazy. If you don't win fast, you'll exhaust yourself. Plus, try doing backflips in a narrow corridor. Qui-Gon learned this lesson fatally against Darth Maul when their duel moved into tight spaces. Form 5. Shien and Djem. Form 5 is where the Jedi said, defense is nice, but what if we hit back harder? This form has 2 variants: Shien for handling blasters, and Djem for lightsaber duels. Both share the same philosophy: turn your enemy's aggression against them. Shien is what happens when you get tired of just deflecting blaster bolts harmlessly. Why waste all that energy when you can angle your blocks to send those shots right back at the shooters? It's like playing deadly tennis, except you're always serving aces. Jim-So takes this concept into lightsaber combat. Every block becomes the setup for a devastating counterattack. The moment you parry an enemy's strike, you slam back with twice the force. It's not enough to defend, you dominate. Anakin Skywalker embodied Form 5 perfectly. Those powerful overhead strikes, that aggressive style that carried over into his time as Darth Vader. Even Luke inherited elements of this form. Watch their lightsaber battles. It's all about overwhelming strength and relentless pressure. The risk? Form 5 can make you overconfident. That aggressive mindset can lead down dark paths. Some Jedi worried it was too close to Sith philosophy for comfort. Form 6. Niman. Form 6 is the Swiss Army knife of lightsaber combat. Niman takes a little bit from every other form and blends it into a balanced, versatile style. It's like the greatest hits album of lightsaber techniques. Niman was incredibly popular during the Republic's peaceful years. Why master one specialized form when you could be competent in everything? Jedi consulars and diplomats loved it because they could handle combat situations without dedicating their entire lives to martial training. The key to Niman is force integration. While other forms focus on pure blade work, Niman practitioners weave force powers directly into their fighting. Telekinetic pushes mid-duel, pulling objects to distract opponents, using the force to enhance strikes at perfect moments. But this versatility came with a price. During the Clone Wars, many Niman practitioners found themselves outmatched by specialists. Being good at everything sometimes means being great at nothing. When facing masters of focused forms like Dooku's Makashi, balanced wasn't enough. There's one exception though: Exar Kun, the fallen Jedi who became a Sith Lord. He mastered Niman so completely that he used it to devastating effect, even innovating the double-bladed lightsaber, proving that in the right hands, even the moderate form could be absolutely lethal. Form 7, Juyo and Vaapad. Form 7 is where things get really dangerous. This is the most aggressive, most emotional, and most controversial lightsaber form ever developed. It's so intense that both Jedi and Sith have banned it at various points in history. Juyo, the original Form 7, requires practitioners to channel their anger and negative emotions into combat. You're literally drawing on the dark side to fuel relentless attacks, which explains why so many Jedi who learned Juyo eventually fell to darkness. Then, Mace Windu did something incredible. He created Vaapad, a modified version of Form 7 that channels darkness without being consumed by it. The idea is brilliant and terrifying. Fight darkness with darkness, but cycle that energy back to your opponent instead of letting it corrupt you. Windu describes Vaapad as enjoying the fight while staying in the light. In his duel with Palpatine, Windu actually used the Emperor's own dark side energy against him through Vaapad techniques. It's like conducting lightning without getting electrocuted. But here's the scary part. Even Windu barely taught Vaapad to anyone. His own Padawan, Depa Billaba, learned it, but chose to primarily use Form 3 in actual combat. That tells you everything about how dangerous Form 7 really is. Jar Kai, the art of dual wielding. Now we get into specialized techniques. Jar Kai isn't one of the 7 main forms. It's the art of fighting with 2 lightsabers simultaneously. And when done right, it's absolutely spectacular. Ahsoka Tano is probably the most famous Jar Kai practitioner. Her unique reverse grip style with a main saber and a shorter shoto creates this whirlwind of defensive coverage and offensive options. She can block multiple attackers while simultaneously counterattacking from different angles. But the real master of Jar Kai might be Darth Sidious himself. In the Clone Wars, when he faces Maul and Savage Opress, Sidious reveals he carries 2 red lightsabers. The way he uses them is terrifying. One saber occupies Savage, while the other cuts down Maul. It's like watching a predator play with its food. The challenge with Jar Kai is coordination. Each blade is wielded one-handed, which means less power per strike. Plus, you can actually get in your own way if you're not perfectly trained. It looks cool, but it requires exceptional skill to pull off effectively. Some fighters take this even further. General Grievous with his 4 arms, or Pong Krell with his double-bladed twin sabers. At that point, you're not just dual wielding, you're creating a hurricane of plasma death.
Tràkata, the Forbidden Deception. Here's where things get really interesting. Tràkata is a technique so controversial that both Jedi and Sith rejected it. And it's built around one simple concept: turning your lightsaber on and off mid-combat to confuse your opponent. Picture this. You're blade-locked with an enemy, both of you pushing against each other's sabers. Suddenly, you flick yours off. Your opponent, who was pushing against your blade, suddenly stumbles forward with nothing to resist. In that split second, you reposition and reignite your saber right through their guard. The Jedi called it unsportsmanlike, too much like cheating in honorable combat. The Sith dismissed it as weakness, preferring to overpower enemies with raw strength rather than trickery. Both groups basically said, that's not how you're supposed to fight. But here's the thing. Tràkata actually works. In Legends, Jedi like Corran Horn used it to defeat enemies that straight combat couldn't handle. And recently, the Acolyte featured a character who built his entire fighting style around Tràkata, completely confusing traditional Jedi. It makes you wonder, in a life-or-death situation, is using every advantage available really dishonorable? Or is it just smart tactical thinking? Ancient Sith forms, forbidden arts. Our final topic ventures into the darkest corners of lightsaber lore. Ancient Sith forms, also called forbidden forms, are techniques so dangerous that the Jedi actively suppressed all knowledge of them. According to High Republic-era records, these forms were used by Sith Lords during the ancient Sith Wars. They were so effective and so twisted that Jedi had to develop completely new weapons just to counter them. Some Jedi even created light whips specifically to tangle up Sith using these forbidden techniques. What exactly were these forms? The records are deliberately vague. Some theories suggest they involved using unconventional lightsaber variants, whips, chains, maybe even techniques that integrated dark force powers directly into the blade work. The fact that Jedi Master Vernestra Rwoh in the High Republic era only knew about them from ancient testimonies tells us something important. By 200 years before the movies, these forms had been lost for so long that they were basically myths. Which raises a terrifying question. What if someone rediscovered them? These forbidden forms represent the Sith philosophy taken to its logical extreme. Combat techniques developed with no moral constraints, no honor codes, just pure effectiveness at any cost. The Jedi choice to bury this knowledge, rather than study it, shows just how corrupting they believed these arts to be. So there you have it. Every major lightsaber combat form, from basic Shii-Cho to the mysterious forbidden forms of the ancient Sith. Each one reflects a different philosophy about combat, the Force, and what it means to wield ultimate power responsibly. Which form impressed you the most? The patient mastery of Soresu, the dangerous beauty of Vaapad, or maybe the sneaky effectiveness of Tràkata? Drop a comment and let us know which Jedi or Sith fighting style you'd want to master. And if you want to explore more secrets of the Star Wars galaxy, we've got plenty more where this came from.